Okay.
I think we are live. So,
Yes.
Welcome everyone. Super, super stoked to have you with us today. And we hope that you're going to be stoked with what we have to tell you. What we're going to do is we're just going to stick around. We're going to wait just a few minutes, see who else is going to join, and then we'll get things kicked off. Tell you what, I do have the comments open here. So let's see who's around in the comments. Sound and visual okay. Good to hear that. And oh, we got quite a few guys here. Good to see you all.
I say hope. Hope.
We've even got some of our own. Lovely. Belgium. Very cool. Got a little bonjour going on there. Who else have we got?
17 watching.
Good. Good. Well, I think that we can probably get things started, hey? I think we've given it enough time. So what we want to do today, guys, is introduce you to the K-Touch. That's kind of why we're all here. And before we do that, we just want to let you know a little bit about who we are. My name is Luke. I'm one of the directors at BIGTREETECH. I have been in 3D printing for too many years than I care to count. Don't make me feel old. But I've been working for BIGTREETECH for a few years now, and I get involved with product development, product strategy, and from time to time, because I'm native English also, live launches like this one. So I'm glad to be here with you today. And I'm going to hand over to Sia. Sia is also going to introduce you to herself. So Sia, you go for it.
Okay. Hello everyone, nice to see you. And I'm Sia, and I'm responsible for the event planning from BIGTREETECH. Welcome everyone to the live stream about our newest product, K-Touch. Let's enjoy this party together. And now let Luke introduce more details with you.
Excellent. Okay. Glad to have you with us today, Sia. So we've had some rumors about the K-Touch. They've been circling for a while. We even actually had a live stream planned for the K-Touch about 4 weeks ago. You might have seen that. We had to reschedule it to today. We realized there was some more work we wanted to do on the firmware, add a few more features, polish some of the features. But we're really happy to say that we've wrapped that work up, and we're now ready to release the K-Touch. So some of you may already therefore know a little bit about the product because it's not the very first time that you're hearing about it. But what we want to do is introduce everyone to exactly what the K-Touch is, explain some of the functions in detail, and we want to explain also some of the things that we have planned for the future. And after that, then we'll demonstrate how to use it in a real-world environment. And we'll also show you how the K-Touch and the Panda Touch are related to each other, and what you can do to get the most out of the hardware that you have. And finally, we're going to jump into a little Q&A session where if you do have any questions, you will be welcome to shoot them off. Just remember, guys, I do try and keep an eye on the comment section. Difficult though, obviously. I have to look at the cam, comment section somewhere else. If I do miss comments that you make, please don't assume I'm ignoring you. It's just that I struggle to look at both at the same time. We do have people who will be taking note of your queries, and we'll get to the QA section. And if I've missed anything, they're going to raise that with me, and I will do my best to get to it. Then please feel free to shoot them off as I'm speaking, though. Don't hold back until the QA session. We'll do our best to make sure we get all them answered. We've also, and you're going to be stoked to hear this, we've prepared a bunch of giveaways during the show. So if you stick around, you might walk away with your very own K-Touch. possibly before anyone else gets theirs. Now, I also know obviously there's a lot of people wondering about how much it's going to retail for, when it's going to be released. All those details will come. But for now, let's just get back to CSC is going to tell you a little bit more about the giveaways that we're going to be hosting during the stream.
Yes, and we will be giving away some K-Touch units during the stream. And at the end of the stream, we will choose 3 winners each time. The giveaways will be based on how fast you can answer some questions about the product. So stay zoned, focused, and during the stream to make sure that you don't miss any of the details. In terms of the availability, the K-Touch will be available at the end of this stream. We've prepared some special discounts for you that will operate on a first-come, first-served basis, so stay tuned for the links to the discounted product. I'm sure you are all keen to know a little more about the K-Touch, so back to Nook.
Thanks so much, Sia. So before we jump into the live demo, I want to show you just a very quick presentation that will explain what the K-Touch is and how some of the features work. So let's jump right into that, shall we? We're going to have a look at it on the screen here. So introducing the K-Touch with all the glory of the taskbar at the top. Let's have a look at what the K-Touch does. It provides us with wireless control and monitoring functionality to clipper printers, if we were to summarize exactly what it does. And it can do this for up to 50 clipper-based machines at a time. There is no physical connection required to any of the printers that it monitors and controls. It's done all over Wi-Fi. And that's not the only element that is wireless. Of course, we've also got the fact that it is battery operated, so it doesn't even necessarily need to be tethered to a power cable. It is truly wireless. You can carry it around with you and control your clipper-based printers wherever you are. Here's an important point, and I've seen this pop up a few times in comments made by users on social media. Does it replace the SBC? And SBC stands for the single board computer. So like a BIGTREETECH Pi or perhaps an Orange Pi or a Raspberry Pi, does it replace that Pi within your printer? And the answer to that question is no, it doesn't. It just allows you to interface to the printers wirelessly. It's not a replacement for that Pi. It wouldn't be able to do that in a wireless way. It allows you to interface to your machines wirelessly. So let's have another look at some of the great things coming with it. It, as we've said, can connect to up to 50 machines at a time. So let's look at how that grouping works. First of all, version 1, we've got a feature called fast switching. So you can add those printers, and when you want to switch between one and another, and we'll show you that happen live just now, you will just be able to rapidly, within a few seconds, change control from one machine to another. In the subsequent version, version 1.1, we're going to be able to group those machines and issue print commands to entire groups of machines at once. So that's coming in a future firmware update, and we're really excited about that. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, it is truly wireless. You don't even have to be tethered to a power cable. So we've got this beautiful magnetic dock. It allows you to just rapidly pull it off, take it with you wherever you're going around the workshop or the home. Keep an eye on your machines when you get back, or when you get back to perhaps where you're going, maybe your office away from the workshop. If you have another dock there, you just pop it directly back onto the dock. It resumes charging, and you are good to go. You've got it with you, and you can just keep your eye out on the machines. Let's have a look at some of the control functions. So we've got the primary control screen here. You can see we're in one of the temperature menus in that control screen, but from the primary axis, fan, and thermal control screen, we get access to the tool head positioning. We can heat and cool whatever heaters we have available on the machine. Of course, along with toolhead positioning, we also get to control the motor on the toolhead, and that would be our extruding and retracting, and homing and leveling. Then, of course, we can also, whatever fans are controllable, we get to control those from the same menu. So really, whatever features you can possibly control from your printer, they can be controlled from the screen. And although it's difficult to show you all of the interfaces now, on this, we're going to show you those during the live presentation. Or sorry, during the live demonstration. So we've also got some great calibration functions. You'll be able to see the end stop status, which is pretty important when you're busy setting up a printer. You'll also be able to do some live Z offset calibration, and we'll probably have a demo of that a little bit later. And of course, the all-important auto PID thermal control algorithm calibration. So those are just one touch. They're available to you from the K-Touch menu, and super convenient to use. In terms of compatibility, you'll use this, as I mentioned earlier, with any machine running Clipper with a Moonraker instance that is available on any port. So if that all sounds like a bit of a mouthful, have a look at the picture over here. Of course, any DIY machine that you've set up personally, yes, it's definitely compatible. It's compatible with the BQ Huracan. It is compatible with Creality K1. You would need to root your Creality K1 for it to be compatible, because when you do that, that opens up that Moonraker port. And of course, it's compatible with any machine that you have personally set up the Clipper instance on. So really broad compatibility. If it's running Clipper, then odds are it's compatible. It's also 2-in-1, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier. You can freely swap the firmware between a K-Touch and a PandaTouch. Really, the underlying hardware is exactly the same. So you can turn one into the other. That's pretty convenient. Maybe you've got two PandaTouch units at your place right now, but you also have a bunch of Clipper printers. You can just turn one of those into a K-Touch. Now you've got a unit to control your Clipper printers and one to control your Bamboo Lab printers, or you can just grab another unit and use that to control your Clipper printers. But some nice convenience features, quality of life feature there for you. Right, let's just have a quick look. If you get the unit, what's going to come in the box? You've got the K-Touch, you've got the magnetic dock, you've got a little mounting bracket. That bracket is useful if you want to mount it to a desk. It's the little adhesive strip on the underside, so you'll be able to stick that on the desk. And what would a BIGTREETECH product be without a little yellow rubber ducky? And so, of course, you get that. And that, friends, wraps up the presentation of the K-Touch. And I know that you guys all want to see it in action. So how about we do that? Let's cut back across to this camera, and we'll jump into a little live demo of it. What do you say about that? So I want to make sure that I have this clear, and we're not meant to give a little giveaway first. Right, no. First, we're going to do a live demo before we do a
Okay.
giveaway. Good. Yeah. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do quickly is just change over to a different camera feed that's going to allow you to see the printer behind me, as well as the K-Touch on my desk. So give me 1 second. Right. Here I have a K-Touch, and I'm just going to turn it on. I had it off. There we go. So you can now see it booting up. And there we go. It's connected to a printer. And as I mentioned earlier, it comes with this magnetic, well, this is the metal bracket that I have screwed into the magnetic dock. But if you want to have a look, there is the magnetic dock. And you can see completely wireless. Once I remove it, you can continue to use it. So here we are. We have the user interface of the K-Touch. And what I'm going to try and do is just zoom in a little bit here so that you're able to see that a bit better. So let's take it a little bit tighter in the shot, and we'll see if we can get that focus working just right so that you can see the text clearly. Right, there we go. That's a whole lot better, I think. So here's the user interface of the K-Touch. And as I mentioned, when it starts up, you have a really good way of just glancing the status of your machine. And let's jump across to the main control screen. Right, so here we have the main control screen. I'm actually going to go ahead and just select the Voron on me. So here's the printer selection screen, and it's going to list at the bottom menu the machines that it's connected to. Currently, you can see I'm connected to this one that calls itself BTTCB1. I want to jump across to the Voron. So let's do that, right? Let's jump back to the main screen. You can see it takes a second to connect, but there it is. What if I just want to quickly home the Voron? Well, let's tap that. Look in the background. And there we go. We can see the Voron. Off it goes, and it's homing. And it's done. And so you can see the response there is extremely rapid. Now, let's take an example of how we would actually connect it to a printer, because obviously I'm starting off here with it already connected. So why don't we jump across here, and I'm going to delete this one. Goodbye. And let's add it back again. So as you can see here in this menu, we get an option to either scan, and that's represented by that little arrow. We can manually add a printer. So whichever you want. I'm going to scan because it's easier. Let's do a quick scan of what we have available, shall we? Now, what this is doing while it's busy scanning is it's busy looking at your local Wi-Fi network and seeing if there are any instances of Moonraker that are reporting availability over the Wi-Fi network. And one of the interesting things we found when developing this feature is that a lot of devices report availability in a very similar way to Moonraker. And so we had to develop some firmware around that would filter those devices out and leave you only with a display of the printers and not any other arbitrary IoT devices that you may have on your local Wi-Fi network. So we take a bit of time because we need to contact all the devices on the local Wi-Fi network and double check exactly what they are. But it should take roughly just over 60 seconds. And then we should have a list showing us what devices are available. There we go. Right, so we can see that we've got the CB1 that I deleted. Let's add that. And we'll say OK. And it's as simple as that to add a printer to the K-Touch. It really is so simple. So let's connect to that printer now. We'll go back. And here we can see, just like that, it's connected. And if I want, I can home that one as well. Let's do that. It's the one that's actually just behind me to there. That's the Huracan. So let's home that. And you can see immediately off it goes and it's homing. So really no lag whatsoever in the commands that we send. Very, very responsive. Right. So let's see if we can draw in the shot over here, the main camera. And the reason I want to do that is I want you to see just how fast and responsive wrong camera. Let's do this. Here we go. Let's go over across to the Voron. And We'll just draw that in nice and tight on the Voron, and I want you to watch as I'm issuing commands, how the Voron responds. Great. So here we have it, and let's do this. Let's raise the Z up, should we? Great, and let's do that again. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong machine. Let's jump back to our Voron. I'm hearing motors move, and I'm not seeing the Voron move. And here we go. Right, let's pop that up, and there we go. And again, and again. So you can see that response is just fantastic. So there we go. How about actually doing print? Well, you've got the start printing menu over here. It's going to scan the memory and see exactly what's on that machine. As you can see, of course, as a 3D printing traditionalist, I have little plastic boat. As is tradition, we can kick that off and get a print going there. And it'll show you nice thumbnails of whatever else you have. If you were to actually start a print, which I'm going to do here, unfortunately, I don't have filament loaded into this machine, but I can show you the user interface. You'll see that you get a nice thumbnail and you get a percentage and also a good summary of how long it's been going, how long is remaining, and exactly what is being printed, the name of the file there. So really nice little UI to work with. Let's stop that print. And what else do we have to chat about in the live demo? Right. You can, of course, I've mentioned control up to 50 machines. Let's get the shot back to something a little broader here. There we go. We'll come across. Right, so yeah, you can control up to 50 machines with this. And this is gonna allow you, if you have more than one machine, or even if you just have one machine, to really rapidly change across and see what the status is in each one of those machines and control them. As you can see, it's a 5-inch display, so enough room for a really rich UI, but also it is small enough to be able to carry with you. So we've seen the axis control page. Again, if we just jump in here, you'll be able to see you can control your fans. And I'm going to turn the CPAP on, and you should be able to hear this because it is loud as loud can be. Hang on, sorry, the printer's still busy heating its heated bed, so you're not going to be able to hear that because I've canceled the print, but it has to finish its current G code before it actually cancels. So you can control your fans from this menu as well as all your temperatures. You tap that, you'll be able to enter your temperatures. You got presets, and I've shown you also how you can start a print. What if you want to change firmware? Well, each unit, K-Touch or PandaTouch, hosts a website. So all you need to do is visit the IP address of the unit, and you can tell that by just going across into the Wi-Fi settings, and there you can see the IP address. And once you're at that IP address, you simply upload new firmware to it, and off it goes. It becomes whatever product it's been calibrated to be, or it's been programmed to be. While we're here, let's have a quick look at the settings menu. Of course, we've just seen the Wi-Fi settings, so you get to set which network it connects to and get to see what IP address it has there. You've got a brightness setting, so you can control max or min. You've got screen timeout, and you can select exactly what you want the screen timeout to be. A language option, color, so you can change the entire color scheme if you want. I like red, we're going to keep it there. And then a little system info just indicating to you exactly what firmware you're running. And you'll be able to jump across here and scan that to see if any new firmware updates are available. So pretty simple. And one last menu that I want to jump through to is the calibration menu. So here we can see what our end stops are doing. As I mentioned earlier, we can see we can do an auto PID, and we can also do our Z offset calibration and save the results once we're happy with it, all from this unit. So that is a really quick rundown of what it can do, and maybe we'll get a little bit more into it during the Q&A. But what I want to do now and let's just change across to this cam again before we do it, is get a bit into what we have planned for the future in terms of firmware updates. So, as I mentioned earlier, we've got rapid switching between printers that's available currently, but we are going to have print groups that will be available in the near future where you'll be able to take printers that you programmed into the K-Touch, group them together, and then issue prints to that group of printers. You'll have console access available from the K-Touch as well, and you'll have, at a very low frame rate, live camera feed that is able to be displayed for the current printer that you have under control. And I say at a low frame rate because, as I mentioned earlier, this is not an SVC, it's not a Pi, so it's not able to receive a live video feed, but it will be able to receive still shots and display them to you periodically so that you can glance down and see exactly what's going on that printer. So those are some really cool things that we have planned for coming firmware updates. What I want to do right now is give you all a chance to get one of these in your hands. So it's time for a giveaway. And for that, I'm going to hand over to Sia.
Okay. Here. Okay, everyone, let's look for the amazing demonstration of the K-Touch. I'm sure you are ready for the giveaway, right? So without further ado, let's start the first giveaway. We're going to ask a question and then you will need to send your answers in the live chat. We will have people on standby waiting for your answers. Okay, so the question is, how many clipper printers can you add to the K-Touch? If you are watching our live stream and following our official post, you must know the answer. Okay, come on, everyone, give me your answers. I already seen the answers, right? Okay. Okay, time's up. Choose the winners. Let's check who is the lucky ducky to win the first giveaway. I will see the name. Okay, hold on a second. I saw many correct answers, right? Okay, the winner's coming in, the winner's name. Okay, the winners goes to AXEL Cooper, and the second Client Sturm, CLINTSTURM, and the third is Chris KRAUSE. Okay. Okay, so congratulations to these three guys, and congratulations to all of you, and please direct message us to claim your prize. And we have another giveaway after a while, so don't be upset, you still have a chance. Now let's start our Q&A session. If you have any questions about the K-Touch, look, we'll answer you here.
All right, guys. So I guess it's back to me. I have a disclaimer. It is ridiculously early where I am from, which happens to be South Africa. So please be kind to me when you shoot questions off. I will do my best to answer them. If I don't have the answer, I will promise to get back to you on social media a little bit later with that answer, but hopefully I'll be able to answer all of them. What we have is a list of questions that have accumulated through the live stream. And so we'll try and address those. But at this point, I am going to be glancing down quite a bit at the comments. So if you have something that you want to ask, please also feel free to shoot it off. What I also want to mention before we jump into this QA is at the end of this, there's a little surprise. We're actually launching another 2 products that will be available. The links will be made available at the end of the stream too. One of those products is the EBB SB2209 USB. And that is a mouthful, but it is a stealth burner toolhead board that connects entirely via USB. So no CAN bus involved. And it's not that CAN bus is bad. It's just that many people find USB somewhat easier to use and connect to over CAN bus. And so we've made a toolhead board that works entirely via USB. Some of the really cool features of this board is that on it, you actually have another 3 breakout USB ports. What does that mean for you? It means that if you have devices that rely on USB on your toolhead, you're not going to need to run separate cables for them back to your Pi or whatever SBC it is that you're using in the electronics compartment of your printer. In fact, you'll be able to run them directly to the toolboard and use only one cable to get all of those signals back to the SBC. So really, really cool. That means that nozzle cameras, eddy sensors, and perhaps even other exciting, cool USB accessories that may or may not be coming in the future would be able to be connected directly to the EBB SB2209 USB and use only one cable to carry that USB signal in the power. And we're also really excited to say that that USB signal is incredibly stable. We have used a shielded USB cable along with a booster, a USB booster chip directly on the EBB USB. And actually, it's been in testing for around 6 months and it is rock solid stable. So we are super excited to be launching this today as well. The other product that we're launching is called the MMB Cubic. So that stands for multi-material board. If you're building something like a ERCF, that is right up your alley. But let's get to some of those questions now. You've had a bit of time to shoot them off. So let's see what we've got here. Is it possible to add a battery pack for extended battery time? Well, if you looked at the live demo, you would have noticed that I actually had a power bank plugged directly into the dock. And absolutely, you could simply, anything that has a USB-C output, plug into the dock. And you can print a custom case for that if you like. And of course, power banks generally would allow you to output USB and input at the same time. So you'd be able to plug the custom case in. Really, you'd be plugging into the power bank, charge that up, and then just unplug it and move it with you. And that would provide you with hours worth of battery time. So I'm just doing it. I'm holding it here. But yeah, you could print something nice and custom to make that work with whatever power bank you have. Let's see what other questions we have. K-Touch and Panda Touch are 2 different devices, correct? Incorrect. Actually, they're exactly the same hardware. Exactly the same hardware. So if you want to change from one to the other, go ahead, you'll be able to. Just download the new firmware to it. Will it interface with the system using the Pad 7 with either a CB1 or a CB2? Absolutely. Any machine that is running Clipper and is running an SBC, it will be able to interface to. And when I say SBC, that stands for single board computer. So we're talking about a Pi. So yes, Pad 7, it's going to interface with it. All you need to do is have Moonraker installed on that system and it will interface. And Moonraker obviously needs to make a port available for it to connect to, which it does by default anyway. So really there's nothing that you're going to have to do. Just install Moonraker on that system and you're good to go. Will Z offset calibration be tied in for use with other types of eddy sensor probe? Yeah, it's the standard Clipper Z offset calibration. So when you do it from the K-Touch, it's as if you were doing it from any other Clipper interface. So it's the standard Z offset calibration. It'll work with whatever you have on the machine. Is it able to offer additional functionality from the machine over and above what the machine manufacturer has perhaps locked down? And I'm assuming that question is posed with machines like perhaps the K1 in mind that need to be rooted and other recent Clipper machines. Out the box, you would need to root your machine and make Moonraker available. Once you make Moonraker available, then you will have the full functionality suite of the K-Touch available to you. So everything that you see that the K-Touch can do and has been demonstrated in the stream today, it will be able to do, of course, as long as the hardware on that machine is available. Right, so how long is that USB and does it need to be connected to printer or the power? My guess is that when this question was asked, you were talking about the USB from the power bank to the K-Touch? No. So the USB that you see connected is carrying no data at all. It's just carrying power from the power bank, in this instance, to the K-Touch. And of course, it doesn't need to be connected to the printer or the power. That happens wirelessly. So it is really, truly a wireless solution. I can hold it in my hand here and control the printer right behind me, and it will do so without any problem at all. What else do we have here? Is there going to be different UR themes colors? Well, I've already shown you. We've got a red and a blue theme that you can select from. And it's possible that at some point in the future, we will create a tool that allows users to specify some artwork and perhaps even GIFs, zip them up into a package, and then download that special binary package to the K-Touch, and that will allow you to theme the unit. It's something that's in discussion right now. It's not confirmed, but it's definitely in discussion, and we're strongly considering offering that functionality in the future update. Right, let's see. Regarding the auto PID, the screen will show the results. It will only be shown on the web browser. So when the auto PID finishes, it will simply pop up with a message indicating that the auto PID is done. And then it'll ask you, would you like to save or would you like to discard the results? If you say save, of course, it's going to store those in your printer config file, reset the printer so that it's making use of them, and you'll be able to continue using it. It's not going to necessarily show you the KP, KI, and KD constants. Those are meaningless to many people. It will save them to your printer config file, and you'll be able to access them through the printer config file. Right, what else have we got here? I'm also wondering when the K-Touch firmware will be released. Today, directly off this stream. So stick around, wait for that GitHub repo to be launched, and you'll be able to access that firmware. Does it have a menu to execute macros? That will be coming in a future firmware update. Yes, it will have a menu to execute macros, as well as I mentioned earlier, a menu to send live console commands to the printer that's currently selected. Is there a battery in the K-Touch? Yes, there is a battery in the K-Touch, and that's going to give you between 20 and 30 minutes of life, depending on what you have the screen set to. Obviously, screen brightness does contribute toward the current consumption. And how many amps does it consume from the USB input? We've designed it to stay just below 1 amp. So most USB ports, in fact, all USB ports should be just fine in providing power to the K-Touch. That USB ports that you'll find on printers. Yes, the battery inside it is also there. Of course, when I lift it like this off the dock, you can see it continues to run. So yeah, that battery mode as well. Also, even if the USB port on the device that you're connecting it to is struggling to keep up with the power demand for brief moments, then the battery helps you to ride through those until the USB port can keep up. Right, what else do we have? Does the K-Touch have internal memory or an SD slot? Very good question. Indeed, the K-Touch does have a USB port, and I hope that you can see it there. So that allows you to connect a USB storage device, whether or not it's a flash drive or perhaps a USB to SD converter. Yes, it allows you to connect that, and using that, you will be able to print directly from it. That firmware is not present in V1 It will be present in V1.1 when we release that shortly, and you'll be able to print directly from USB to your machines. Right. So I believe that that answers most of the questions. I see one more at the back here. Is the battery replaceable and upgradable by the user? So the K-Touch is a sealed unit. I'm going to pop it off here just to try and bring it up to the cam. Right, so you can see it's a sealed unit. We wanted to make it nice, easy to use, no assembly required, right? So it's a sealed unit. The way that we've sealed it is there's a glue bead that runs along the outside of the screen, just beneath the glass. If you want to access the battery or the internals, you need to actually pull the screen off and then access it from the front. So just to answer your question, this is not something that we recommend you do, obviously, but that is how you would get inside. If you wanted to replace the battery with something bigger, bear in mind, space is limited inside here. You can still do it. And you can probably push that battery time to around 1 hour or just over by doing that. You would, of course, need to replace that glue bead. You just heat up the border using a hairdryer, and it comes right off using a suction cap, and you can pop a new battery in. We're all DIYers, right? That's what we do. We take things and we DIY them. So I'm not going to hide that you can do that. I'm also going to say that if you do that, you're probably going to be voiding your warranty, though, because you don't know if you're going to damage that screen at all. But if you want to get inside it, you can, and that's how you would do it. Right. So will it show a picture of the STL when printing? I did show that a little bit earlier, but I'm going to try and show it again for you right now. So what I'm going to do, here's a K-Touch, and let me just see. Okay, I hope you can see that. So at the bottom here is the Start Printing tab, right? So I've just tapped that, and I'm going to bring it close to the camera. I know it's blurry, but I think you can get the general sense of what's being shown. There you'll see our little friend, the Benchy, and also just a first layer test. So I'm going to tap Benchy, and I'm going to say Start Printing. And when I do that, let me cut across to the overhead cam. There we go. That's a bit better, hey? And that's what you get on the screen. So yes, to answer your question, it does show you a picture of the STL. Not only a picture, but also the percentage. Gives you a couple of controls for the print. It also tells you what the name of the STL is, the remaining time, and the time that it's been printing, all on a convenient little dashboard. And also something I didn't mention earlier, but if you want to know what printer it is that you are connected to, well, there it is, just up in the top bar. You can give it a name, and it'll show the IP address and port. That name is fully configurable, by the way, so you can change that to your liking. I'm once again going to stop this because, as I mentioned earlier, I do not have filament loaded into that printer at the moment. So I'm just going to put a pause on that. Let's cut back to the main cam and see if we have any other questions. Right. How open? Okay, so the firmware to this, in terms of the K-Touch, I hope I'm not speaking out of term here, but I believe the K-Touch will be open sourced, and people will be able to edit the firmware themselves. I believe that. Please don't hold me to it. It is a discussion that we had earlier on in the product development, and that was something that we discussed doing, and we generally agreed that we like the idea of it. So bear in mind, though, that this firmware is written for a processor called the ESP32S3. It's written on top of a development environment called the ESP-IDF. So if you want to edit it, you're going to have to be familiar with both the processor and that IDF. But yeah, I think we're going to make that available, and we're going to see what users can come up with. It might be quite exciting. Right. Will it show a list of available printers? Al Stern, yeah, Al, it definitely will. We showed that in the demonstration a little bit earlier. You do a quick scan, you just specify the port that you want to scan on, you do a quick scan, and it finds whatever printers are on your local network, and then you can select any one of them and connect to it. So yeah, it definitely does that. If the battery runs out, will the printing continue or stop? Again, good question. Yeah. No, it certainly isn't going to stop your printing. No, this is really just an interface to the printer. The printer is doing its own thing. Using this, you're just saying, what are you doing? And you can issue commands to it to say, hey, rather do this now. But if you remove that interface, the printer continues to do its own thing. So no, if your battery dies, you're not going to have to worry about your print stopping. Good. So let me just cut back to one of the other streams, see if there's any other good questions. Hotkeys like loading and unloading filament. That's another good question. I like that. Yeah, as I've mentioned earlier, we're looking at doing a macro menu where basically you'll just be able to configure macros in your config file, and they'll just pop up nice one tap in that macro menu. And those will effectively be nice hotkeys for you. Just go into the macro menu, hit the macro, go. And we are going to try and make that macro menu available literally one touch from the home screen and you're into it. So that the number of touches required to execute one of those is really, really brought down. You don't have to navigate through a series of menus to get there. So yeah, hotkeys, they're coming in a future firmware version. Right, what else have we got? How quickly does emergency stop happen? We've run a series of tests, actually, also very good question. I like them, guys. Thanks, keep them coming. A series of tests where the way that we actually measured the response time was very precise. We start a timer within the K-Touch, and we send the command to the printer, and in parallel with the command being executed, we toggle a pin on the motherboard of the printer. And as soon as we see that pin toggle, we know that it's been executed. So we can measure down to the millisecond exactly how long it takes. And the average time for a command to be executed for an emergency stop is around 420 milliseconds. So it's basically instant. You wouldn't actually know that there is a delay. Good question. So that looks like we've got, Doom on the K-Touch. It's a good question. Actually, it would run Doom. I mean, if we can get an RP2040 to run Doom, goodness knows we can get an ESP32S3 to run Doom. If we open source that firmware, I expect to see Doom running on the K-Touch. Someone can do that for us, right? It'll be a fun little side project for some coding genius on a weekend, yeah? I'd like to see that. Good. So, battery state on the screen. Okay, good point. Now, that is something that I have to mention. We had to limit not that we had to, we encountered a limit when it comes to I/O on the K-Touch. The processor that we're using physically ran out of pins, and so that limited our ability to actually measure the battery charge level. That being said, the K-Touch is not a device that is really there to be used for extended periods away from the dock. You know, we know that it's got a 20 to 30 minute battery life. You pop it off the dock. It's there to be used as you pop it off to sort of go around, have a look at what you're doing, control your machines. And once you're satisfied that that's done, just pop it back on the dock. So no, there isn't a battery percentage meter on the display. Unfortunately, the internal processor, we did run out of I/O for that, but the dock is so easy to connect to, and we know that it will give you between 20 and 30 minutes of life, depending on what your brightness is. And docks are available as well. I need to mention that docks are available separate to the product. So you can buy as many docks as you want. You can put one on your work desk. You can put one in the bedroom. You can put one or two in your shop. And then you're just free to just pop the K-Touch right off, pop it on another one. And in between, you've got full wireless use. Oh, look at that. As I was speaking, Chris Kraus says, I'd love one on my desk and in my bedroom. I'm pretty sure those are exactly the two places I mentioned it would be useful to have a dock. So yeah, docks are available separately. Good. Will there be a future RP2040 version that has more pins? RP2040 is actually less powerful, a lot less powerful than what we're using in here. Yeah, obviously, I think with any product, right, you want to let people know that the product is going to have a beautiful roadmap. You look at the original iPhone. If Apple never iterated on what we saw in 2007, the product line would have died. So I can't say that or comment definitively on any future plans, but I can say that this is a product that BigTreeTech is committed to, and you'll see great new firmware updates coming, and perhaps future iterations. But yeah, this is our K-Touch right now. Ducks are available separately. Oh, well, if I just reach forward here and do a little something like that. There you go. I should actually zoom my camera in and see the front of the desk. I have about 2.5 meters of ducks lined up in a row here. Of course, whenever anyone visits, it's the common joke that I like to think I have my ducks in a row, which is not true, but I like to think that. Ducks are not available separately. For those, you've got to buy a K-Touch. Do we think we'll ever integrate the Panda firmware with the K-Touch? It's something we've been considering. The devices that it interfaces with are really, really different in how they operate and interface. There are complexities because of that are non-trivial to solve. It's not saying that we'll never do it. It's just it has to be planned very carefully so that users don't end up getting confused. For instance, if you go and slice a file for a Voron-based machine and try to send it to a Bamboo-based machine, you're going to have problems. So if you've got a USB flash stick that's got files for both sticking out the side, and you try and send that off, you don't want to be allowing people to send that off to the wrong types of machines. So it's not something that we're saying no to. It's just we need to do it right if we're going to do it. Otherwise, users might actually have a worse experience rather than having an improved experience. What's with people asking for black ducks separately? What? Like I said, I got this whole row of ducks right in front of me. It's I even got sort of the larger than usual yellow duck. Anyway, let's see. Any other questions? Can it alert when USB power is disconnected? No, it cannot alert when USB power is disconnected. Good. I think that is it, guys. Anyways, there is another giveaway, and so if you have any questions about the EBB SB2209 USB, again, I know it's a big mouthful, but if you do, feel free to shoot those off as well. But in the meanwhile, how about we let Sia give you another one of these units, and I'll keep my eye out on the comment section to see if any other questions shoot in.
Okay, thanks, Luke. Let me change the camera, right? The camera inside, Jane. The camera. Yeah. Hold on for a second. Okay, thanks, Luke. All right, everyone, it's time for our last giveaway. We have 3 more K-Touch units up for grabs. And this time, the question is, what do you think the MSRP of the K-Touch will be? Please type your answers in the chat now, and we'll randomly select 3 winners from the correct responses. Then keep those answers coming. What's your guess for the K-Touch? If you are following our official website, you must know the answer, right? Okay. I saw many answers coming in. Keep them coming, and we will reveal the winners shortly. Okay. 59 or 79? Okay, now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. You've all been waiting for the MSRP of the K-Touch. The final retail price is $59, babe. The purchase link of the K-Touch will be officially available 2 minutes later on our all social medias. The first 100 people will have special discounts, and the first 10 people can even buy K-Touch for $9.9. And we're offering a limited time discount for early buyers. But please note that each person can only purchase 1 unit. So let's see who gets the price correctly. The standby staff will, okay, come here. The first winner is 小狮子一. Okay, the second is Per Beckman. The third is ABDULLAH. Yeah, Sim. YESIM. Okay? Please make sure to contact us after the live stream to claim your prize. And thanks to, thanks to everyone who participated in the giveaway. We are thrilled to bring the K-Touch to you. Okay, the link available. Just 1 more minute. 1 more minute. And let's keep and just go and grab it. And yes, remember the limited time discount won't last long, so make sure to place your orders quickly once the K-Touch goes live.
Yeah, I wish I had your energy.
You must be.
you bring a vibe. All right, so let's wait for those links to pop up. And well done to the winners, by the way. And Sia, do you want to just give them some information of how they can contact us? You said contact us. What should they do to contact us?
We have the contact email, like Jane will put it on the chat now, or on Facebook. We will put the contact email on Facebook. Yeah.
So winners, keep an eye out in the comments. Contact email is going to be there. Just to also verify that you are indeed the winner, what we will just ask for via that email is a link to your Facebook profile or to your YouTube profile, so we can just cross-reference your name against that profile and make sure that you get the prize that you have won. But yeah, that email is going to pop up quickly, and then we're also going to get that link, the purchase link. And remember, we're also going to have the purchase link for that EBB SB2209 USB available. And in terms of the competition, good people, I promise you, it is very much not rigged. I see there are some sad people on YouTube. I promise you it's not rigged. It's completely random. We've got some support staff sitting in the background behind the camera in Shenzhen, and they just take all the answers that we're given, throw it into a random spinning wheel. And that's why it takes a little while to produce the winner. They hit spin, and out comes 3 winners. It is all randomized. But I promise you, stick around. We'll have a couple of other shows. In fact, why not give you a little teaser of what's coming in the future? Yeah, I'm sure I'll get away with it. So next month, if you have a Bamboo Lab machine, you are going to want to connect to our live stream that we have coming. We have really cool products, and not just one. We have a number of them that we're going to be adding to our Panda range. The long fabled Panda Power will make its debut, and I'm really excited about that because it adds some really useful functionality to your Bamboo Lab machines. We also have some other really, really cool stuff that we'll be launching next month. So connect for that, and then you're going to get another chance to win. So tie in then, see what happens. You might walk away with something. Sorry that you didn't win today. We'd love to be able to give everyone who connect a K-Touch, but then we would go bankrupt. So congratulations to the winners, and connect another time, and I'm sure you'll get your chance too. Even for the A1 series. Yes, sir. Even for the A1 series, you're going to get some good stuff. And Panda Touch works with the A1 series, but we have some very specific stuff coming for the A1 series as well. So yeah, fun stuff is coming. Someone made a good point that it could be that the Facebook stream is just ahead of the YouTube stream, and that might give Facebook people a bit of time to enter when the YouTube people don't. Thank you for raising that. I wasn't really aware of it. I think what we'll do during future streams is we'll give a little bit extra on the competitions so that if there is a lag, then those connecting over YouTube get an opportunity to enter, and we'll make it as fair as possible for everyone. See how we're doing with those links.
The link is available now.
Okay, so the links are available.
Available, right?
Good stuff. And Sia, have we sent? There we go. So guys, Sia, have we sent the email address that we need to contact for the prizes? Okay, so there's someone called Tonya Jordan. If you just contact Tonya Jordan, she'll make sure that you get your prizes. She's on the BIGTREETECH Facebook group. And a little bit later as well, we will also make a comment on this video with the email address that, if you're from YouTube, we'll make a comment with the email address that you can contact. But I think that is it for today. We really want to thank you guys for connecting, taking the time out of your schedules to join us. We love doing this, and we loved having you with us. And we're looking forward to launching the K-Touch, getting into your hands, seeing what you do with it. And we're really looking forward to bringing some other really cool products to you in the future. Stay tuned for updates on those new product launches and future events. Have an awesome day. If it's the end of your day, wherever you are in the world, have an awesome rest. Stay cool. Peace out, and happy printing, guys. See ya.
Peace out. End stream. Okay.